Hey there, in this video let's talk about a mobile first strategy and what that means. I mean it's fairly obvious to a lot of us, but I just still want to talk about it because not everything is super clear, and maybe something that's obvious to you may not be obvious to somebody else. So a mobile first strategy in essence means that you're building your product or your application with mobile with mobile in mind, with mobile as the first thing in mind, or maybe the only thing in mind, right? Or maybe not the only thing, but if it's the only thing, then what does mobile first mean? So maybe I guess it implicitly means you're building more than one client interface and one of them is mobile, but you're starting out with mobile. um, that's the gist of it, right? So in our case, we start out with a web app. A few months later, I mean, we've had the HTML5 app alongside the web app, but we just launched the native mobile apps a few weeks ago. So up until this point, it wasn't native mobile first in that sense, right? Then that's why I wanted to do this video, because typically when you see that, when you read these articles, excuse me, let's just wait for this plane to pass. Sorry. We live near an airport, so there's a lot of planes. I know how many these days, but they're generally a lot. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So back to what I was saying. So it's not necessarily mutually exclusive, meaning it's not like your approach is either mobile first or not. It also could be feature driven. Like for instance, there are some features that need a lot more real estate, so it's best to do them on your web interfaces. So you could have a web first strategy, if there's even such a terminology, but you know what I mean. So you could start building those features out on your web interfaces first, and then you can port them over to your mobile apps. You might not support all of what it does you support on the web. You might do a subset, you might do it differently. Let's discuss that in a different video, but I just want to take the example of that feature which is primarily web driven, and it might have mobile support as well, because you do want for that to happen, but it'll be a subset, or it could be different from how you end up serving the user in the context of that feature on the web. Now you might build some other feature in the same product which has a mobile first strategy, because you feel like, hey, it's more likely that your users are going to be doing that particular activity on your mobile devices more so than on the web, or just as much or equally so, right? If it's equally, then I guess you could choose one or the other, but given how dependent we all are on our mobile devices these days, I think it probably is a better place to start building it on your mobile and then build it on your web. Of course, if you have a bigger team, you would do them in parallel possibly, but again, that's outside of the context of this conversation or this monologue, right? So that's the difference. Mobile first is where you want to start building that particular feature, and don't look at that as always as something that's mutually exclusive. Some of what you do is mobile first and something else might be web first, for instance, right? So keep that in mind. Thank you.